Meet Uday Purohit, MD, Neptunus Power Plant, Mumbai, winner of Microsoft Completely Boss Challenge 2013. His company has been recognized among India's top 100 SMEs by the India SME Forum and Government of India Ministry of MSME in 2016. Neptunus is India's leading engine service provider for the marine, offshore and industrial sectors. They specialize in reliability engineering, oil excellence and repair and maintenance services for the engine and related equipment. Vasundhara Jakka in conversation with Uday Purohit. Yeah, hi Uday, good morning. It's wonderful to catch up with you in the morning when you're already in the working mode, and thank you for giving that time to us. Okay, to begin with, I just want to know, I'm sure it's been a wonderful journey so far, but what is it that you think Neptunus is synonymous to, or the pillar, on which Neptunus is standing so strong?
So company is no different than a family. And just as a family has core values, I think every company needs to understand and establish their core values. So at Neptunus, personal integrity, accountability, and excellence are values at a personal level for each one of us. And when all this is done well, our eventual goal of stakeholder delight is achieved. So I think these are the core values on both a personal note and a corporate note. At one time we talked of customer delight as our focus. So when we started 21 years ago, the term stakeholder was not known. So we focused on customers. Today really we are talking about our customers, we are talking about our banks, we are talking about credit agencies, we are talking about our people, we are talking about their families, we are talking about their children, we are talking about our competitors, even they are stakeholders. And so it's a complete ecosystem that is dependent on us, or which we are part of, that we are talking about.
See, Uday, actually as a facilitator to a lot of SMEs, I have dealt with a lot of SMEs, and I have dealt with a lot of mid-sized companies which are now there to become corporates. For saying sake of values, there are a lot of boards everywhere that these are our core values. But when you actually interact with the employees, you don't see that they own those values. So my question to you is, how did you manage to percolate those values in the pyramid?
So it's like a parent at home. So you can't teach a child honesty if you are a thief. You can't teach a child cleanliness if you roll down the window of your car and throw garbage out of it. So you need to walk the talk. And you also need to realize that employees are looking at you 24/7. So you're living under a microscope. So if you are not going to walk the talk, and if you are going to have a separate set of rules for people and a separate set of rules for you, you can never have strong core value. So there are people find out very quickly what those values are. So would you keep an employee, a very valuable employee, who's caught stealing? A lot of people will not. We will not. So those are reinforcements that are required from time to time.
But then still there must have been some challenges, as you just mentioned right now. An employee who is really worthwhile, he's got a lot of skill sets which are required by the company, especially when the company is growing, and he is being found stealing something, and you have to get him out of the organization when you don't have a replacement in place. How could you handle those kind of challenges?
So those are common fears of a SME owner. My answer to that is, do you want a rotten apple in the system today that is going to spread the rot tomorrow? Or would you rather live with a shortage for some time, the pain of being 1% short, but send out a message to the rest of the team that you mean business? So it's always short-term pain, long-term gain. As an owner, you need to take the call. It's like your own family. So if your child comes first in class, would you allow your child to lie? So you can't throw your child out of home, I agree. But you would still not say that because my child comes first in class, it's okay for her to steal. Because my child came first in a 100-meter race, it's okay if she steals. So value systems have nothing to do with proficiency. You can't mix the two. It's the values first, then the proficiency.
Some interesting question which is now lingering in my mind, Uday, is earlier I think company used to be product focused, and then there was production focused, then there was quality focused, and then came the norm, say, customer focused. In your company Neptunus, you mentioned that your core value has been stakeholders focus or stakeholders delight. Has it worked so far, and how?
So it has worked so far. So there's no doubt about it that stakeholders is something that we need to focus on. But if I were to rewind the clock, I think my focus would be first on people.
Oh, really?
Rather than my customers.
Interesting.
And there's no doubt in my mind that that is something that I would do differently if I had to start this journey again. So when we started, we were a customer-focused company. Customer delight was the cornerstone of our business philosophy. Everything we did was customer-based.
And it sounds so perfect.
Really, it doesn't. So it's good to take you to 5 crores, 10 crores, 20 crores. But today, if I had to redo it, it would be first people, second people, third people, and then the rest of it would follow. And the logic is simple. Unless you have the right people in the right place, the journey cannot be a marathon. And the whole idea is that as an owner, you could address your stakeholders and customers when the pool is a limited pool. But what happens when you want to be a 1,000 crore company? So who's going to drive that excellence? Who's going to address your customers at that point of time? It has to be your people. And if you don't focus on them today, how will they deliver the goods tomorrow? So customer focus is not, in my mind, the right approach. So it's a people focus. You focus on people, let your people focus on customers. And today, I spend maybe 50% of my time on managing my people resource. I sit on almost every interview, no matter what the position is. I just spent half an hour interviewing a draftsman today. And I'm convinced that if I can get A people, A players in my team, Neptunus has a sound future.
Yeah, Uday, I'm there as a panelist for a lot of forums which are organized for SME owners, and I get a chance to talk to them, and during discussion I realize that, when they start with an ambition of having a turnover of around 10 crores, 15 crores, and 20 crores is beyond, something that they really can expect to happen. How do you feel now when you are at 120 crores?
If I had to think differently, or if I had to start Neptunus all over again, I would think really big. And when I say really big, I'm talking of 100x. I'm talking of 150x. So most of us, or at least I, was satisfied with 20 and 30% growth rates. If you had a 40%, 50% growth rate, at some time you thought it was a fabulous year. But I can tell you that 20 and 30% growth rates don't need you to build a strategy. It doesn't need you to have vision and mission. It just happens. So the difference between me and that petrol pump attendant in Aden by the name of Dhirubhai Ambani was his ability to think big. That is the key. So if you think 20 crores is big, 20 crores is what you'll achieve. If you believe 100,000 crores is big, that is what you will achieve.
But don't you think it is a right strategy to think of 20 crores, achieve that, and then take a next map in your hand? Will it not be overwhelming?
It takes a lifetime to do that. So if you think today 10,000 crores, you're planning, sleeping, breathing, eating, drinking 10,000 crores. If you plan for 20 crores, that's what will happen to you. So Henry Ford, I think, said sometimes, so in a given situation, only two things happen. If you think it will, it will. If you think it won't, it won't.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, whenever you are set for any change, especially when you're scaling up, there are a lot of changes happening. But at the same time, you also have a lot of resistance from the existing employees. How did you really manage that? And I think that most of the SME owners would like to know.
Today, most initiatives fail because there is no buy-in. So you need to really ask your people, or you need to answer the question, what is in it for me? So I've heard of n number of ERP rollouts where those initiatives fail. Many initiatives fail because people just don't care about it. So it comes about as, it's another flavor of the season from the management. Unless and until we answer the question, what is in it for me? Why should I do it as an employee? How will I gain? Why do you expect them to do it? So even the expectations that they should do it are completely misplaced. So if you're going to put in an ERP, for instance, everybody knows that there is horrible pain going through that process. But if you can explain to them that at the end of that process, this is what is going to happen, his working hours may be reduced, the pain at putting a balance sheet together is reduced, getting accounts ready would be reduced, his reports that he has to bring out for management, MIS for etc. becomes easier, and the whole process is intended to make life easier for the employees. If that is understood, and if that is an honest assessment, I think people are with it.
So we are talking of two things. One is continuous communication.
Correct.
And second is, I think they have to have the trust in the management intention.
It's not just trust, it is a buy-in. So this initiative will work, and I will benefit from it in 1, 2, 3, 4 ways. If that is understood and that is clearly communicated, and at the end of it, it is visible, I think you've achieved your goal. And once you do this, the second time people trust you and believe you. So I'll ask you a question. Would you think that if you were working 6 days a week, and there was a proposal now to cut it down to 5 days a week, do you think there would be resistance in an organization? What do you think?
No, I'm going to be very happy, thankful to the management for doing so.
We had resistance.
Okay. And the reason being?
There were a number of reasons. But unless we had discussed this in an org-wide meeting, I wouldn't have even imagined that. So one of the technicians got up and said that by having Saturdays off, you're going to reduce some of our off days, PL, etc., bring it in line with what. And he said, I live in the hills of Himachal. I want to work 6 days a week so that I can go home for 40 days. So would you have thought of this? And we had to address that.
Wonderful. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Vasundhara.
Thank you so much.